This week's First Chapter Friday is a romance story, and it's actually a series of sort of short stories, but it's tied together in one complete book. And it's a bunch of different authors, including Nick Stone, who wrote Dear Martin, and Angie Thomas, who wrote The Hate You Give, and Nicola Yoon, who wrote Everything, Everything, and several others that you might recognize. So what they did is they wrote in alternating chapters, but it's basically the story of when a blackout, a massive power outage, hits New York City. And it's a bunch of different stories. And one of the things that I really love about this book is that it's about all different kinds of love stories. It's about people with different, different kinds of people that they love, different sexual orientations. And it's not only the main characters, which are all teenagers, it's also telling stories of the loves in their families. So their parents, and their grandparents and different people that they know. So I think it's a really great windows and mirrors kind of book, because I think that most people will be able to both see themselves and learn something in this book. So I just really love it. I just can't say enough good things. So I'm going to read you the first chapter. So the first chapter is called The Long Walk, Act 1, by Tiffany D. Jackson, and it takes place, it says at the beginning of the chapter, Harlem, 5:12 p.m. And this story of the long walk recurs periodically throughout the book, whereas a lot of the other stories are just like little, one chapter is the whole story. But this one kind of recurs throughout, like it takes place throughout the course of the book, chronologically through the evening as the night goes on and the blackout drags on. It's a heat stroke kind of day, one where bad stuff happens. Tensions matching the temperature make people do stupid things in a city full of millions. On days like this, you wouldn't catch me dead outside. I'd be huddled in my room next to the air conditioner, streaming movies with an iced tea and a turkey on wheat. So when the train doors open and the hot platform blowing sticky air in my face, I have second thoughts about the new job. Out of the station, I'm surprised to see so many people on the street, the Apollo Theater sign gleaming in the brutal sun. If this was my film set, we'd be wrapped, or I'd switch to night shoots. Concrete melts the bottom of my sneakers as I run down 125th Street, train delays setting me back 10 whole minutes. The MTA doesn't give a darn about being on time, even during a heat wave. Now I'm going to be late. Well, I'll be on time, but that's the same as being late. Dad always says, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. That's why I never chilled in the halls between classes. Was always first in my seat minutes before the second bell would ring. I think that's why all the teachers liked me. It showed I respected them. Even Mr. Bishop, and no one hated Jim more than me. My dress is soaked by the time I take the elevator up to the 4th floor. I don't think I've ever sweat this much in my entire life, but they said I needed to drop off my paperwork before Monday's training. Yes, HR orientation training. For a legit job. Your girl is the new office assistant at the Apollo corporate headquarters. My advisor hipped me to the opening. Working for the most famous black theater in New York, known for the start of such music superstars like Michael Jackson, Mariah Carey, and Stevie Wonder, will have me kikiing with elite celebrities. Good practice for when I become a big-time director. The pay? $3,500 for 6 weeks. Sure, it's all the way in Harlem, no less than an hour and change by train from Brooklyn. But it puts plenty of distance between Bed-Stuy and me all summer long. I don't want to be around there anymore, not since it happened, not since we became a him and a her, then a me. The acceptance email said to arrive at 5:15, and since this was going to be the first time my coworkers would see me, I put on my new yellow and blue baby doll dress, bought thanks to some graduation funds. You know what? I'm going to buy a whole new wardrobe before school, all to match my new life as I leave my old one behind. Might even start introducing myself as Tam instead of Tammy. Who would know the truth? It's not like anyone's coming down to Clark Atlanta with me. I'll be there, alone. It wasn't supposed to be like this, I think, as I approached the reception desk. We had different plans, promises made, but there's no longer a we, and it's time I learned to live my life without him. Hey, hon. The elderly black woman beams, sweat dripping off her brows. Can I help you? I pull back my shoulders and shake the thoughts away. Hi, my name's Tam Wright. I'm the new intern, here to drop off my paperwork. All right, then. Let me see if Maureen is here to sign off. Phew, hot enough for you? The windowless office area is steamy. I peep men and women at their desks in damp clothes. Yeah. She turns to grab a folder off the desk. Well, heard it hit 101 around noon, and it hasn't come down since. I wrap my braids up in a high bun, fanning my face. Is it always this hot in here? I'm trying not to panic, but I'm already thinking about the few dresses and shirts I own that'll keep me cool in here all summer. I need to look perfect. Everything needs to be perfect. She throws me a sympathetic smile. Sorry, love. System has been acting up all day. I think, whew, sorry I'm late. The voice behind me makes me jolt and stiffen, my skin going cold even inside this oven. I close my eyes and start to pray. Please don't let it be him. Please, God, please, anything, anyone but him. Hey, hon, can I help you? The woman asks. His hard steps sound like the killer approaching. He always wore sneakers that were either too big for him or that he refused to lace, soles slapping the floor, giving a high five with each stride. Hey, how you doing? I'm Kareem. His voice trails off until he yells, Tammy? I finally open my eyes and pivot to face him. That brown skin, those beautiful eyes. It's not like I haven't seen him. We're neighbors and went to the same school, Stacey Abrams Preparatory on the Upper West Side. But this is the closest I've stood near him in the last 4 months. Close enough to smell, and I wish he didn't smell so damn good. What are you doing here? I ask. It comes out real aggressive, but with good reason. He rolls his eyes, turning to the receptionist as if I were a ghost. Sorry about that. I'm here to drop off some paperwork for orientation. Orientation? No, 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 no. We cannot work at the same place. No way. Wait, you're both here to drop off paperwork, she asks. No, we say in unison and glare at each other. I mean, yes, we say in unison again. Mortified, I take a step to widen the space between us and clear my throat. What I mean to say is, I'm here with my paperwork. I don't know what he's doing here. He grins. Guess I'm here for the same reason. Her eyes toggle between us, and she quickly opens the folder in her hand, scanning papers. She returns to her computer screen, reading something hard while I steal a quick glimpse of him. He's wearing his favorite jeans, even in this heat, a black polo shirt, and a fresh pair of Jordans. Probably one she made him get. Kind of miss his beat-up red Converse and a collection of superhero t-shirts. Stop it, Tammy. You don't miss anything about this dummy. Just a second, the receptionist says, her voice shaky. You two can have a seat. I'll be right back with Maureen. Kareem and I exchange a suspicious glare as we slowly head over to the waiting area. Hopefully Maureen won't take too long to come get me and leave him here. I sit on one side of the entrance door while Kareem sits on the opposite, fidgeting. Just keep it cute, Tammy. I do a quick selfie check, making sure all that heat I trekked through hasn't melted my edge control. I don't want him, but I don't want him to see me looking a mess either. Whoa, Kareem mumbles to himself, staring up at something, and I follow his eyes. Whoa, I gasp. The walls of the waiting area are a mural of old Apollo concert posters. James Brown, Ray Charles, Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, people my grandparents grew up listening to. I didn't notice any of this before, and it hits me. I'm within the very same halls those legends walked through. The warmth of that thought makes me almost forget about the jerk on the other side of the room. Is this what it's going to feel like when I'm in TV studios and on film lots? Kareem is still fidgeting, digging through every pocket he has. Does that when he's flustered or running late, which is almost always. He wouldn't have made it to school at all if I hadn't set several alarms on his phone for him. Wonder if he still has them. Kareem slaps his forehead, cursing under his breath. He must have forgotten something. Stop it. Stop thinking about him. He's not thinking about you. What is he even doing here? Mr. Taylor, our guidance counselor, told me about this position but said there would be only one opening for one student interested in studying media and entertainment. Mr. Taylor, our guidance counselor, told me about this position but said there would be only one opening for one student interested in studying media and entertainment. Kareem said that he wanted to major in boring business accounting so he could learn how to count all his stacks. Oh, that's it, the money. He wants that $3,500. Well, too bad for him. I'm the real deal here. I even sent my film reel with the application, all shot and edited on my phone. This job is mine. Plus, I need this. It's one more step on the road to a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Mom and Daddy still aren't really on board with my plan. Only Kareem was, and now he probably couldn't care less. So I won't let him take this away from me. He might as well dip and catch that A train back to Brooklyn. I whip out my phone, trying to find something to focus on so I don't keep stealing glances at him. He hasn't changed much. Still tall as hell, all legs and gangly arms with those beautiful eyes and thick lips. He looks a little browner. Maybe he's been to the beach. With her. The thought makes me ill. I can imagine them trekking out to Far Rockaway, her in a skimpy bikini, him bare-chested. Hey, you got a charger? It takes a minute for it to register that he's talking to me. What? I cough out. A charger, he says, all slow, like I can't speak English. I forgot to charge up and I'm on like 5%. I blink in sheer disbelief. Is that all you got to say to me? He frowns. What you mean? As usual, he's freaking clueless. You haven't said more than 2 words to me in months, and the first one's out of your mouth is you asking for something? At first, he's just stunned, but then his eyes narrow and he's leaning back in his chair, sucking on his teeth. Never mind, he snaps, crossing his arms. Don't even know why I bothered. You only care about yourself. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing, he grumbles. I glance up at the receptionist, now back at her desk, and she averts her eyes, pretending not to be listening. His phone wouldn't be dying all the time if he wasn't using it like a DJ speaker. Even if I did have a charger, I wouldn't give it to him. Not if he was the last boy on earth. I'll stay petty AF forever. He sucks his teeth again, slouching further in his seat. Man, you acting like I'm asking for a 20. Yo, you done, or are you going to mumble some more under your stank breath? Kareem's eyes narrow, ready to kill. Hello there! We both jump to our feet at the sing-song voice of a woman who's rounding the reception desk, heading straight for us. Hi, I'm Maureen. You must be Tammy Wright, and you, Kareem Murphy? Yeah, we say in unison, and I hate myself for loving the way we sound together. Get it out of your head, girl. There is no we. We is gone, dead, forever. She shakes both our hands, then sighs. Well, I hate to say this, but I wish we were meeting on better terms. What do you mean? We both ask, and I hold in a groan. This is pretty embarrassing. There's been a small clerical error. It appears an offer letter for the internship was sent to both of you, but unfortunately, we only have the budget to cover one opening. My stomach tenses, jaw tightens. Kareem crosses his arms, making a deep V. Kareem crosses his arms, his brows making a deep V. So what does that mean? She visibly gulps. Only one of you got the position. Kareem and I share a glance, then click. The room goes black. Just like that. That's actually not the end of the first chapter, but it's a good stopping point. So at this point, the blackout begins. And no spoilers, but the two of them end up kind of getting stuck together for a while because they live in the middle of New York City. And like for us, when the power goes out, we just kind of like light some candles and sort of like hang out. And, it's not necessarily the end of the world. But when you live in the middle of a city and the lights go out, the subways don't work. And the public transportation, it becomes really, in like cabs and even Ubers and things get really hard. And everybody has to go out of the buildings. And there are just so many people because it's the city. And at this point, in the book, it's after 5:00 at night. So pretty soon it's going to start getting dark. And the city isn't really a safe place after dark. So it's a little bit of a bigger deal than when our power goes out. And the rest of the book goes from there. So I hope you consider picking it up. It's a really fantastic book. I will say it has some language in it, some sort of mature language in it, and some swearing. So if that's going to make you uncomfortable, maybe not your best choice. But otherwise, give it a try.